changed in driver's education. It would be a brand new sensation. Finally, I proved that I am a man taking matters into my own hands. Teacher said there'd be a film. Then she turned out the lights. First I saw a car grill. Then my girl turned pale white. It was blood on the pavement. Blood on the pavement. Blood on the pavement. It was a film from circa 1962. Said now in color, but the sky wasn't quite blue. Fast moving car and old lady crossing the street. Screeching brakes, a body thrown, just a pile of meat. Something inside of me snapped. I was the only one who clapped for blood on the pavement. Blood on the pavement. Blood on the pavement. Blood on the pavement. To my heart, it was a lesson learned. Now I do my part, looking ahead, my car knows when to accelerate. Jaywalkers will learn when they make their mistakes. Serial killer needs a specialty. Mine is a fast-moving Chevy. Blood on the pavement, it's what I like. Blood on the pavement, it's every day, it's every night. Blood on the pavement, it's what I like. Blood on the pavement. It's every day, it's every night. My life changed in driver's education. It would be a brand new sensation. Blood on the pavement. Blood on the pavement.
There's some Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 there, or is it Cretin 3? I went on Google to figure out how to pronounce that word cretin, and turns out American English is Cretin and British English is cretin. So Tony Jones and the Cretin 3, or Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 is what you just heard. That song's called Blood on the Pavement. You're listening to the punk rock demonstration. I'm out here in my downtown Los Angeles office. That's very echoey, so it sounds like an echo chamber again. That's what happens when I gotta record portably. Gotta find an office space and do the show so that way I don't miss the show. Since our show here is every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time, it's been that way since the beginning. If you missed that Monday show, you can listen again on Tuesday at 7 a.m. Pacific time. That's the same Monday show, but at 7 a.m. instead of 7 p.m. on Monday. Also helps if you're on the other side of the world and can't listen at 7 p.m. Pacific time on Monday. Anyways, I'll try not to talk so much because it's very annoying with the echo. It's so echoey that it just echoes in my head in addition to echoing in the recording. So let's just take a listen to some more punk rock here. Let's take a listen to some Shattered Faith. This song's called Last Name First.
Promises you can't keep. You're all gonna stop and living in the street. Last name first, first name last. Give us the money, we'll let you pass.
Locked in
heard the Usurpers there with Defector, and some Hood Rat with Hopelessness, Crime Wave with Tension before Hood Rat, and some Barbados with Tokyo Rock and Roll. Haven't heard that one in a while. Got lots of new punk rock on today's program because the email system is finally, seems like it's mostly working. Last week was still intermittent because it was missing some, if you're technical, some reverse DNS entries. So the emails were not blocked anymore, but didn't have reverse DNS entries, and Google and Yahoo and all the other mail providers were blocking the emails. So those emails either got lost or didn't come through or just bounced. So very annoying. But it seems like the email system has cleared itself up after I added those reverse DNS entries. It's very annoying when I set all this stuff up many years ago, like 10, 15 years ago, and then ISP decides that they need to redo their setup and lose all of my settings. So that's part of the reason why the email system was not working. They blocked all the emails, one, and two, they deleted all my reverse DNS entries that I had for years. Then nothing worked after that until I had to investigate the issue. But anyways, hopefully that's all resolved in the past, and people can continue sending me email over at punkrockdemo@yahoo.com. I'm using the Yahoo now as my primary email because the domain part, can't really trust it sometimes. Although Yahoo, I heard they had an outage last week, and yeah, can't seem to trust anything nowadays. Got to have AI and cloud handle everything, so that way everything's perfect. So with that, let's take a listen to some more punk rock. I've got a couple classics here in this segment of music. Starts off with Last Resistance. This song's called Global Regime.
We don't need to believe just what you say. Freedom, justice, it's easy.
I am the inside. Have you ever felt yourself just burning from the inside? Dead-eyed, addicted for the feeling, otherwise numb, under imaginary ceiling. I'm healing, just a bad choice of words, an emotional stick-up, except everyone gets hurt. Robbery with the ultimate getaway, but you never get away. We are all forced to stay. We're all forced to stay. We're all forced to stay. Blazing teeth and on the run, with charging force, the two guns are guns, with swift movements of beast attacks, a quick retreat and charging back. Shovelhead, oi! Shovelhead, oi! Shovelhead, oi! Oi, oi, oi! A dark shadow moving like the wind, the tooth monster comes again, again. Speak of Shovelhead and she comes, a tooth monster in a charging run. Shovelhead, oi! Shovelhead, oi! Shovelhead, oi! Oi, oi, oi! The only peace is when Shovelhead sleeps and the tooth monster is gone. But in the end, she starts again, and the tooth monster is on. Swift as light, dark as night, she charges everything in sight. Swift as light, dark as night, she charges everything in sight. Swift as light, dark as night, she charges everything in sight. Swift as light, dark as night, she charges everything in sight. Shovelhead, oi! Shovelhead, oi! Shovelhead, oi! Oi, oi, oi! Shovelhead, oi! Shovelhead, oi! Shovelhead, oi! Oi, oi, oi! Shovelhead, oi! Shovelhead, oi! Shovelhead, oi! Oi, oi, oi!
That was the Balboas there with Agent from Wronski. It's abbreviated WRONSKI. And before the Balboas, we heard Schism with Shovelhead, Trying to Get By with Burning before Schism, and some Dead City Shakers with Lonely Rose. And lastly, The Scarred before Dead City Shakers with Rattlesnakes. Still listening to the punk rock demonstration. Still got more abbreviated songs. This next song is by Problems, Problems. The song is called Afterburner.
own damn drinking problem. Guess it seems I'll never solve them. That's the way that it will have to be. You tell me that I should get some help, and I tell you to go to hell, and that's the way that it will be. Drinking problem, guess it seems we'll never solve them. That's the way that it will have to be. You tell me that I should get some help, and I tell you to go to hell, and that's the way that it will be. And I see your eyes in the starry skies looking down on me all day, and I hear your voice in the winter wind telling me that I'm insane. Drinking problem, guess it seems I'll never solve them. That's the way that it will have to be. You tell me that I should get some help, and I tell you to go to hell, and that's the way that it will be. Guess it seems I'll never solve them. That's the way that it will have to be. You tell me that I should get some help, and I tell you to go to hell, and that's the way that it will be. Well, it's my own damn drinking problem. Guess it seems I'll never solve them. That's the way that it will have to be. Well, you tell me that I should get some help, and I tell you to go to hell, and that's the way that it will be.
Let's go! Let's go! Woo!
heard some Mad Sin there with FTW, I Said One Day. More abbreviations. Seems our show's filled with plenty of abbreviations today. It wasn't quite intentional, I don't know how it happened. But anyways, before Mad Sin, we heard Battalion Zoska with Bad Things, A Pirate's Life with Drinking Problems before Battalion Zoska, and Barbed Wire Dolls with Revolution. Still listening to the punk rock demonstration. I'm Jack. We're here still every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time over at punkrockdemo.com. Let's take a listen to some Baboon Show now. This song's called Could You Be It?
girls
to trust. Heroes on trial, their masks fall away. The anthems they sang now leave a bitter taste. Your truth was a lie, your message is a game. You took what was sacred and drenched it in shame. You claim to fight systems to stand for the weak, but your actions tell a story your lyrics don't speak. Your slogans were hollow, the passion was fake. While we built a movement you abused and you take. The stage lights are blinding, the crowd screams your name, but behind every chorus is a sickening chain. How do I reconcile the art and the crime when the heroes I worship crossed every line? Heroes on trial, their masks fall away. The anthems they sang now leave a bitter taste. Your truth was a lie, your message is a game. You took what was sacred and drenched it in shame. It's not just betrayal, it's deeper than that. It's knowing the power you used to attack. We fought for a future, but you broke the pact. How the music is poison, there's no going back. Burn the idols, tear them down. No gods, no heroes, no kings, no crowns. The revolution is now ours to claim. No more monsters abusing their fame. Your truth was a lie, your message is a game. You took what was sacred and drenched it in shame. Heroes on trial, their masks fall away. The anthems they sang now leave a bitter taste. Your truth was a lie, your message is a game. You took what was sacred and drenched it in shame. So here's to the dreamers who stay true to the fight, not the cowards in shadows who thrive in the night. We'll rewrite the story, we'll take back the flame. No more false prophets, no more victims living in shame.
Nationalism's notional denialism, those boots are made for marching. Advocate assault and battery, practice outrageous flattery. Herald the harking back to times, facilitate a front of enemy lines. Take issue with the issues of the day, inhale what the wise men spray. Why do you think there's nothing there? While we're breathing, you're dead air. Why the obsession with coming first? What we got's not what it's worth. Choose the risk level that's right for you. Exclude existing conditions too. We all thought that was what you wanted. This was the course, of course, you plotted. Why do you think there's nothing there? While we're breathing, you're dead air. Why the obsession with coming first? What we've got's not what it's worth. Upgrade computers, memory brain, guileless gifts to retain a slave. Ratchet up restricted scriptures so we can dwell on spent convictions. Why do you think there's nothing there? While we're breathing, you're dead air. Why the obsession with coming first? What we've got's not what it's worth.
buddy now has my wife. Drug buddy, yeah, for life. What you gonna do when your life's a mess? You can't even breathe, you can't even live, you can't contest. Drug buddies, wow, always good. Drug buddies, drug buddies, drug buddies, yeah, they just don't care. Drug buddies, drug buddies, drug buddies, it's the life. Drug buddy now has my wife. Drug buddies, yeah, for life. We used to be close when we was doing drugs. We live out of spite. We ain't cool, we ain't right. Drug buddies, always be there. Drug buddies, drug buddies, drug buddies, yeah, they just don't care. Drug buddies, drug buddies, drug buddies, it's the life. Drug buddy now has my wife. Drug buddies, yeah, for life.
Since it's the second half of our show, heard some new punk rock there. That was some new Mazos with a song called Drug Buddies. And then we heard 4 songs from this Dammit Records August 2025 mixture. A little early, but August is just around the corner. So played the Dammit Records 2025 compilation deal. So before Mazos was Auckland. That song's called Dead Air. And then we heard High Frequency before them with Heroes on Trial. The Phantom with Download Todd. And the Walk-Offs with SATX. If you missed any of that, just find the playlist for the show, punkrockdemo.com. Every single playlist is available on the website. This one is July 28th, 2025, or number 1010. We've already gone through 10 shows, or 10 weeks after 1,000. It's crazy. Anyways, let's take a listen to some more punk rock that people have been sending in throughout the week. New music. Let's continue with Jack Adamant. The song's called Stuck and Paralyzed.
I met you in a bar, you're like a movie star. We're dancing without care. Lost in the crowd, exhausted from trying to find my way home. You slipped away, thought I wished to stay. You said it was too late. When you're back to the room, I thought I was doomed by the scent of my stale perfume. Remembering now as time goes by, stuck and paralyzed, I stand staring it through the cab window's pane. His guiding hand knows my path. I stumbled for you, no pause or cue. My conscience was not on my side. The reason unclear why I linger here as the music intensified. I met you in a bar, you like a movie star. We're dancing without a care.
done with the past. Wishing on the stars gonna keep you last. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but your words won't hurt me. Sticks and stones will break my bones, I won't let you get me. The first that eats the seed grows as strong as the trees. Never giving in and never giving up. Here's to the future, cause I'm done with the past. Wishing on the stars gonna keep you last. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but your words won't hurt me. Sticks and stones will break my bones, I won't
Girl, you know it's only true. And you know I do.
That was an awesome tune by NTA, a German band. That song's called Conceal, and heard Death by Horse before NTA. That song was called It's Alright. Then we heard High End with Ghosts on the Radio, the Gypsy Moths before High End with And You Know I Do, and Kathleen Turner Overdrive before the Gypsy Moths with a song called Sticks and Stones. I could have sworn the Gypsy Moths changed their name because of some offensiveness or something like that, but could be wrong. It's been a while since I've played them. Let's continue with some more punk rock here in the punk rock demonstration. New punk rock. You can send it over punk rock by going to punkrockdemo.com. We're going to continue with this next song by the 20th Century Boys. The song's called Rumble at the Dance Hall.
fas gestir-ho al fil, que el futur manté el talent és així. Busques dreceres, no tens el camí, ja no funciona el gust de refregit. És evident que t'has prostituït, una altra fotocòpia. No prens cap risc, el teu dit penjat al meu balcó per espantar els coloms i es caguen igual. El teu disc serveix per posar got i no m'aporta res de nou, res de nou. Quilòmetres fets per ser repetitius i d'altres que penyen enrere els molins. Entregues de premis fent locals cretins, ulleres de sol passiades per mi. Fas com si no volguessis formar part d'això. T'encanta ser un imbècil, t'agrades molt. El teu disc penjat al meu balcó per espantar els coloms i es caguen igual.
Heard some new Booze and Glory with Boys Will Be Boys, and some Chelsea Curve with Kanawana. New Crim with Res de New before the Chelsea Curve, and the Slamdonistas with Rock and Roll Clown. Still listening to the punk rock demonstration. We've got one more segment of punk rock before I end off the show. We're still here every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. Hopefully not in an echo chamber most of the time. But for this show we are, and we're going to continue with new punk rock with Apero. The song's called Disney World, spelled D-I-Z-N-E-Y-W-E-R-L-D.
Mickey Mouse, SpongeBob, Place that's on my drink, rock quartet. Hotel room on way back at Barry overheads. Elevator's broken, gotta go up the stairs. To a tiny room that smells and needs repair. Bathroom is in ruins, gotta swallow my pride. Have to get sedated just to make it through the night. Hey ho, let's go. Checking in to check out. Hotel room on. Hey ho, let's go. Checking in to check out. Hotel room on. Sheena starting pillow fights, BD sniffing glue. Gonna stay up late tonight, just howling at the moon. Watch out, you are used to it, you'll never wanna leave. Guessing the commando suite, get a free little part of me. Hey ho, let's go. Checking in to check out. Hotel room on. Hey ho, let's go. Checking in to check out. Hotel room on. 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 Psycho, psycho, psycho needing therapy. Psycho, psycho, sudden burst of energy. Psycho, psycho, psycho needing therapy. Psycho, psycho, sudden burst of energy. Hey ho, let's go. Checking in to check out. Hotel room on. Hey ho, let's go. Checking in to check out. Hotel room on. 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 Hotel room
Nel vento sono andate le parole, nel sale si son sciolte dentro il mare, nell'acqua trascinate nel profondo, nel fuoco si rivela ogni mondo. Ma la luna c'è e la luna è là. Coscienza di qualcosa di assoluto, coscienza di far parte di qualcosa, coscienza di una vita lacrimata, coscienza di una storia un po' insensata, ma il sole c'è e
il sole là. Coscienza, ora guardami negli occhi e dimmi cosa vale questo gioco. Coscienza, ora lasciami sperare che tutto questo possa ricordare, ma la vita c'è. E la vita è qua.
Had some music from all around the world there. That was Ganesh Blues Band with Cosenza, that band from Italy. Brooks before Ganesh Blues Band with Hotel Ramon, that band from Australia. Padded Hill with Living Room before Brooks. And Dr. X and the Breakups with Up at the Beach before Padded Hill. We seem to have ended up at the end of the show now, so we're going to continue with this all around the world trend with Hernan Lopez. That's the name of the band. They've got the song called Que Nada Interrumpa La Paz, something like that. Just find the playlist on the website, punkrockdemo.com, to find out how you spell it. I'll be back again next week for a new show at punkrockdemo.com on Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Until then, thanks for listening.
Se siente la bronca de la víctima, se siente la ayuda, la solidaridad, se siente la angustia del que hicieron callar, se siente el valor del que pudo perdonar. Solo paz, sentir paz. Se siente fracaso si no lo intentás, se siente la dicha por saber compartir, se siente amor propio para poder vivir, se siente la ausencia del que ya no está. Solo paz, sentir paz. Se siente impotencia por la impunidad, se siente la culpa por no pedir perdón, se siente el dolor del que no pudo comer, se siente silencio por saber comprender. Solo paz, sentir paz. Se siente la fuerza para poder seguir, se siente el orgullo de la dignidad, se siente cariño cuando te acercas, se siente el amor por dar sin esperar. Solo paz, sentir paz. Se sienten los miedos por la inseguridad, se siente la vibra para poder cambiar, se siente tristeza en la soledad, se siente alegría porque estás acá. Solo paz, sentir paz. Y que nada interrumpa la paz. Solo paz, sentir paz. Y que nada interrumpa la paz. Solo paz, sentir paz. Solo paz, sentir paz. Terminó.